Today I want to talk about Verizon's unlimited plan. Now this is a postpaid wireless plan. I normally don't cover postpaid, but I had a request from a longtime reader over on smartphonematters.com. John asked me if I could do a video about Verizon Unlimited explaining the pros and cons. Now, John's been a longtime Straight Talk customer, but he wants to switch. I know he's been having some problems with the service, and I know John is a heavy data user. So if John and 3 of his friends have got together and want to sign up for the Verizon Unlimited plan with 4 lines, and they're thinking that's going to be about $45 each per month. So he's wondering what I think. Well, John, I'm not going to do a full review of Verizon's unlimited postpaid plan, but I can take a look at the site and tell you what I think. All right, so here on VerizonWireless.com, they are advertising the unlimited plan right up at the top. Now, if we scroll down, we'll see that the unlimited plan is $80 for 1 line plus taxes and fees. So we're definitely going to want to check out this taxes and fees part later. But if we change this to 4 lines, we'll see it's 4 lines for $180 or about $45 per line. Now, this plan does look pretty good for an unlimited plan. There are some restrictions and details you need to know. After you've used 22 gigabytes of data per line, Verizon may prioritize your data behind other Verizon customers during network congestion. And it looks like if you use mobile hotspot and tethering, your speeds will be reduced to 3G after you use 10 gigabytes of data per month. And then finally, if you're roaming domestically, your data speeds are going to be at 2G. And I kind of wonder how many places in the US you're roaming with Verizon. Now, they also have this Mexico and Canada service, so you can use your phone while in Mexico and Canada. It looks like there are some restrictions. If you use more than 500 megabytes of data per day, your speeds will be reduced to 2G. And if more than 50% of your talk, text, or data usage in a 60-day period is inside of Canada or Mexico, they may limit or remove those services from your line. Now, I think that's primarily just to prevent people from signing up for Verizon in the US and then going back and using that service exclusively in Mexico and Canada. So it kind of makes sense to me that they would want to limit that. So you're right, John, this does look pretty good. I wonder how much it's really going to cost you with the taxes and fees. We need to take a look at that. Now, one of the things I noticed is that when Verizon redesigned their site a while ago, it's a lot harder to find a lot of the detailed information. Click on this FAQs here, it just pops up this dialog box. And then if you click on this see details here, it just opens up this bubble. Now, they both provide some information, but it's really not a lot of information. Now, the first thing I wanted to know about is taxes and fees, because that's the thing that people always talked about with postpaid is to get hit on the extra service charges. So I did a Google search and I found that Verizon Wireless actually has this tax and surcharge estimator. So I entered in the information here for Boston, Massachusetts, and I calculated these results for taxes and surcharges. So it looks like there'd be an administrative charge of $1.23, a regulatory charge of 21 cents, federal universal service charge of 4.41%, and then taxes would be Massachusetts state sales tax of 6.25%, and then an E911 fee of $1. Now, I added all this up, and let's take a look at what that would look like. So for 4 lines in Massachusetts, it would be $180. Adding in the different charges, it would come out to $201.63, or about $50.41 a line. So it's more than $45 per line, but it's still a pretty reasonable charge. Now, the one question I did have on this is whether or not they add in an E911 service charge or any of these additional fees per line. So the federal universal service charge is a percentage based on your total bill, and then the same thing with state sales tax. But I was wondering if the administrative charge or regulatory charge is per line or just per account. And then again, like I said, the same for that E911 fee. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is that different states have different charges. I think sales tax on telecommunication fees in places like California are a bit higher. So you would need to use this calculator for your area to figure out or estimate what the taxes and surcharges would be. Okay, so at least for me, for 4 lines, it would be about $51 per month, which is pretty good for an unlimited plan. Now, I did have a few other questions and concerns and things I wanted to point out. Now, John, if you get together with 3 other people and you go in on one account for 4 lines, that means that one person is going to need to administer the account, and then the other 3 people are going to need to pay that person every month. So you might want to think about what that's going to be like. You may be the person that has the account, meaning you need to collect the money from the other 3 people every month and make sure that they're paying you on time to pay the bill. Or you might be one of the 3 people that needs to pay somebody else to pay the bill. So you might want to think about what happens if that person isn't paying the bill on time. Now, all 4 of you together might want to think about what's going to happen if 1 or more of you stops paying their bill on time. How are you going to handle that? Are the 2 of you going to pick up the entire cost of that bill to make sure that it's covered, or are you just going to immediately drop their lines? All right, now another thing you might want to think about is what happens if one person racks up additional charges. Maybe it's international calls. Say, for example, if someone was calling international numbers or directory service or any other thing that Verizon offers that you could end up paying a service charge for. That's going to go onto the bill and be added up into the total. So the person that's administering the account may have to look through and see who incurred those charges, how much they were, add them up, and make sure that that person pays that additional amount. The other approach would be to take the bill and just divide it by 4 every month, meaning that the 3 of you would be paying for those extra services that you didn't use. Okay, now I don't really know how likely any of that is to occur, but it's just something to think about. Now, one thing you may want to think about is the privacy or confidentiality of your line data. So you can see here under usage details, can I view the usage details for every mobile number in my account online? And it says, if you're the assigned account owner or account manager role in My Verizon, you'll be able to see the usage details for every mobile number in your account. If you're an account member, you won't be able to see this information. So if for some reason you or one of your other 3 friends have any concerns about the account manager being able to view their call history and other usage information, you might want to consider that. Now, it looks like they do have some different information here on the account owner or account manager roles, but to me, it looks like at least one person is going to be able to see the usage data for all 4 lines. All right, now, other than these things I mentioned, I don't see much downside. Now, I know in the past I had considered signing up for family plans with extended family members or friends, but I decided I didn't want to be responsible for collecting money from them every month. And if somebody else was going to do it and administer the plan, I didn't want to figure out how I was going to pay them every month, whether I was going to pay them cash or give them a check or figure out some kind of way to send them the money electronically. It just seemed like a lot of extra effort. But for you, it may be different. I know you use a lot of data. We've talked about that before, and I know about some of the problems and issues you've had with Straight Talk service, so that may make up for the extra effort of having to deal with the billing issues. All right, John, so I hope this helps. If I can think of anything else, I'll either private message you or make another video. I think that's going to be it for now. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.